Now, Jesus also knew all of the rules about being ritually unclean. Probably most, maybe all of the people in the crowd also knew the rules. If a woman like this one touched Jesus, Jesus would be ritually unclean too. And the woman risks the unthinkable, moving through the crowd toward Jesus, leaving prohibitions in her wake, moving up behind him, hoping only to touch the hem of Jesus' robe. Then she was there, right behind him, reaching out to touch. And in that moment of contact with Jesus, she was made well, healed. The bleeding stopped immediately. Now, I suspect she may have planned, I don't know for sure, but I suspect she may have planned to just slip away unnoticed back into the crowd. Then Jesus asked, "Who touched me?" A seemingly ridiculous question, with the crowd pressing in upon him. But no, Jesus insists, somebody touched me. I felt power leave me. And Jesus exposes the forbidden act. Knowing she's been caught, she fearfully approaches Jesus, kneeling before him. This unnamed woman is a woman also willing to step out, a woman of faith willing to step out and take a chance. She has the gift of risking it all on Jesus, unsure what the consequences will be. And as she kneels before him, palpable suspense hangs in the air. Fearfully kneeling before Jesus, she tells the whole crowd why she touched him and what happened, how she had been instantly healed with that simple touch. Her health restored, her life renewed, the social stigma lifted from her in the moment she met Jesus, and everything changed. As frightened as she may have been to tell Jesus of her forbidden act, as scary as speaking up to the whole crowd could be, she wasn't about to keep quiet, not now, about this new beginning in her life. Now, we Presbyterians tend to get real nervous about testimonies. Maybe we gravitated to this denomination because we don't like all that stuff, all that talk about what God has done for us, how God reaches out, touching us, renewing our lives. Maybe we're just uncomfortable admitting our need, acknowledging the God who comes to us in our despair we are prone to hide. We're reluctant to give testimony to the God who picks us up when we're busy trying to cover up we were never down in the first place. We get anxious about letting our true self show after years of trying to convince others, even more trying to convince ourselves, that we are really someone we are not. When everything in this woman's life changes, she discovers the gift of testimony, giving witness to what Jesus has done for her, stepping out with courage, confidence, and hope to proclaim the good news at work in her life. There she is, kneeling at Jesus' feet, the unnamed woman who kept the faith, put her trust in Jesus, took the risk, and is testifying to the miracle in her life. Now, what will Jesus do about this woman unclean who shouldn't have even been there in the first place, who did the forbidden act of touching him, touching a crowd full of people as she made her way to him? She kneels there before him, proclaiming all that has been done for her, and the crowd watches and listens as the woman and the crowd discover Jesus is not afraid to be touched by a bleeding, ritually unclean woman. Jesus' words carry through the crowd, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." Her risk pays off. Her action could have backfired. She could have been further ostracized, even killed. Instead, hope is renewed within her. Jesus calls her daughter. He affirms her faith, not saying he healed her, but her faith healed her. That's what the text says. Then Jesus tells her, go in peace. In Jesus' response, there is hope. Hope for this individual woman and hope for the world. Socially constructed barriers, in this case barriers of gender, come tumbling down. People are released from the bondage and constraint imprisoning them with a bunch of societal fences. The woman had the gift of faith. And with the gift of faith, the courage and ability to risk, the boldness to testify to what she discovers Jesus is doing in her life, and she's given another gift, the gift of hope. May we get to know this Jesus so well. May this Jesus enliven us with so much curiosity and interest. May we so much want to reach out to touch even the hem of his robe, that we too, just like this courageous woman, will be drawn into faith, risk, testimony, and hope. Thanks be to God. Amen.